How you going? Join me as I take you around for the annual garden tour. This is 2024, the fourth one I've made. Don't believe last year when I said that was fourth, that was actually the third. Yeah, I'll walk through do's, don'ts, things that work for me, things that haven't worked for me, things I'm in trouble with. Yeah, hopefully you can help me, hopefully I can help you. Let's check it out, come. Might as well start this year where we start every other year, at the wine barrel. You've probably noticed that there's no more avocado tree in here. It's now a weeping cherry. It seems to be doing all right in here. We've got a shoot up here I need to cut off. I've planted a snake's tail, this flowery hanging basket thing in here, and I've also spread out some wildflower seeds in the pot that are all sprouting at the moment. Come through, let's look at the rest of the yard. Let's have a look at my Monstera. This Monstera is a plant I inherited from my granny. When we got it, it was in a smaller pot. It used to be by the back door. Since I've repotted, given it some fresh soil, I've changed the location so it gets a little bit more light, but not too much, and shaded a bit. Seems to be really happy here. It's doubled in size. Let's see how it progresses. Come through. And over here we have our blood plum. Blood plum, given it a bit of a prune, probably 2 years ago. I like to keep things big and bushy and looking overgrown, but this thing's been overcome a couple of years by curly leaf, same as the nectarine I have over there. So once all the leaves fall off this year, I'm gonna hack it right back, a little bit below head height. I'm just gonna attack it with some white oil every 3-4 weeks. And hopefully next year we can get some nice plums off it. If you have a look closely, you'll see there's a nest up here with a couple of eggs in it. The kids are pretty excited to watch it, and they're just waiting for the eggs to hatch. So let's keep an eye on that. Down here, we have some lava moss. It's quite a nice plant. It's a little bit of a nice bushy texture. I'm hoping it overgrows and creates a bit of a half dome, a full dome sort of effect on the bird bath. Here we have the lime tree. This was one of the few good plants that this place had when we moved in. I keep pruning it in a nice cylindrical shape. It's not the correct way to prune a citrus. Citrus, you're meant to prune them so it gets nice airflow. I'm not really worried about how much fruit it produces. As it is now, it produces more lime than we can use. So yeah, I just keep it a nice cylindrical shape just for cosmetics, and does what we need. Come over here, let's look at the pear tree. The pear tree had 4 to 6 pears on it this year. The bird's got a couple, the kid's got a couple, so everyone's happy. I don't think I'm gonna prune this thing yet. I'm gonna let it hopefully grow another meter before I give it a prune. But at the moment, it seems pretty happy. It's a self-pollinating pear. It likes this spot, it's doing all right. Just got all the usual suspects. This plant here, when I planted it, it was just a cheap plant at Bunnings. It looked good on the picture. I was a little bit skeptical of where I wanted to plant it. It's only meant to grow, I think, to 2.5 meters. So it's well exceeded that. It's got a thick trunk on it, but it really can't hold its own weight. So I've put some support in here to help hold it up. Otherwise the thing just flops on the ground, and it's just thriving. It gets these huge yellow flowers on it. They seem to come out year round. As soon as the old flowers die, the new ones come up. It's quite a nice tree. I'm gonna give this one the best performer of the year. Got our lemon tree in the corner. This thing hasn't grown a whole lot the last 12 months, but it's pushed up a bit. Let's have a look at the magnolias. These magnolias are creating a really nice barrier. They're cosmetically good to look at. They get these nice, beautiful white flowers on them. They should grow. So I'm hoping these things get another meter taller and really start to push up, creating a beautiful screen. I've already pruned them across the front once. Don't think I'll have to do it too often, but I'm hoping that helps them densen up. Over here, we have the Kiwi Vine. We've got a male and a female. You need a male and a female to bear fruit on a kiwi. Can't remember if it's one male and 6 females or one female and 6 males, but this thing does all right. It's got a few kiwi fruit once again. They're not quite ready yet. They take a while to ripen, but it does really well. I'm happy with that one. Let's have a look at the passion fruit. The passion fruit on this part of the vegetable garden fence here, it's doing really well. This one's probably a 1.5 years old. The old one was huge. The old one, every 3 weeks, I was pruning it back and just couldn't maintain the thing. But the fruit was just empty. It was useless fruit. The thing ended up dying. Now I planted this new one, and 1.5 years later, it's already got half a dozen passion fruits on it. They're feeling a little bit heavier than what the old tree had. These ones are Cali Nelly passion fruit, so hopefully we get a bit of luck. On this side here, we have the Nectar Tree. This thing's had the same problem as the blood plum over there. It gets a lot of curly leaf. I thought I got on top of it. I sprayed it a lot last winter, obviously not enough. So this year my plan is to hack this one right back as well, roughly to head height, and just give it a drowning every 3-4 weeks once again. Hopefully next year we have a bit more luck. The curly leaf was better this year than what it was the previous year, but the tree still was a bit too stressed out. Got some fruit, but not much. Let's have a look at the vegetable garden. This thing does really well. We're quite lucky we've got some chickens. So every time we clean out the chicken coop, all the excess soil, which is great compost, gets spread out amongst all the beds. The problem I have now, the beds are all hitting their upper limits, which is a good problem. So the garden's starting to get some of the compost. Just this morning, I keep coming out. I haven't been that thorough in checking for cucumbers, or zucchini, sorry. I've ended up with 3 big ones. Once they get that big, they become a little bit useless. I prefer the smaller zucchinis. They generally taste a bit better. So I need to be a bit more thorough when I search for them. So through here, I have a heap of tomatoes. I've got some big Malaccas and cherry tomatoes. I grew them all from seed. They all seem to be doing really well. I've got some chilies that are pushing 4 years old in the corner there. One of them died, but the rest of them are still going. Got my 2 potato patches. So every 6 months, I just dig them up, get all the potatoes out of the ground. They're all grown just from the potatoes that sprout in the pantry. They come straight back in. Got the strawberry bed here. Melbourne's had terrible weather this summer. So we've had pretty much no strawberries since the middle of January now. There's heaps of flowers and heaps of little green strawberries. And maybe it's just gonna be a late season. Hopefully the strawberries are better for it. Other than that, we've just got a mixture of things in here. We've got some onions, some spring onions. Down here, I've got some eggplant, just rhubarb, and just, the usual suspects. Let's have a look at the apple tree. This is another great tree that was already here when we got here. It had you can see the trunk. The trunk's a good 10 inches at the base. It's quite a big apple tree, but it didn't bear any fruit. And what little fruit it got just got the size of a 50-cent coin and just fell off. So I gave up on it a year or 2 ago, and I cut it right back to knee height. And since then, the thing just sprouted. This is probably a year's worth of growth, possibly 2. And we got our first harvest of apples off this year. Not many, but our first harvest, so it's an improvement. So once these leaves fall off, I'm gonna cut this back to head height as well. And we'll see how it goes next season. Hopefully it's better again. Here's Pepino Gold. This was a cutting off the other Pepino Gold I have near the back door. It's got a lot of flowers. It bears some fruit. You can see down here, it gets some big fruit on it. This fruit is really yum. The fruit's not ripe yet. With Pepino Gold, you gotta wait for like tiger stripes to run down it, but it's a really nice juicy fruit. Let's have a look at the chickens. I've got my beehive in the corner over there, and I've got my chickens. These chickens, fairly friendly chickens. They produce probably an egg or 2 a day. We did have multiple more. We had one die, just got sick probably about a month ago, We tried to get some baby chicks, that didn't end too well, so we might get another 1 or 2 mature chooks in the coming weeks, I guess. We'll see how we go. So here we have my dragon fruit. Don't know why, still haven't had any fruit. It's a nice warm spot for it. Got some branches that are hanging downwards. It's healthy as it's green. It's in nice pots. But maybe I just look after it too much, but I get no fruit on it. I've got my mate Pablo, I gave one of the cuttings to him. He put in a couple of cuttings, I can't remember. He put it in a pot. He's got a busy life, so it got neglected a bit, but he got some dragon fruits off. He's pretty quick, so I'm pretty jealous. I really want to get some dragon fruit. It's like Pepino Gold, a really nice fruit, really enjoyable. So maybe this season. I don't know when the season is, but yeah, maybe. All right, let's come have a look at my lawn. So this is my lawn area. It's probably the nicest out of all the lawns. I mow it once a week, give it a whip snip every second week. Probably every 2 years, I give it a bit of an aeration. I spread some topsoil across it, try to level it up a little bit better than what it is. It gets watered every second night. We've got the sprinklers that come on. Yeah, for a good backyard, you need some good lawn. The kids love playing out here. We have some water fights. Kepler loves coming for a run out of here. When he can, he has a little poopy out here. It's really nice. I come out and do some grounding. Yeah, you gotta have a good lawn. Good lawn, good yard. Let's go have a look at the other courtyard area. Okay, this is the courtyard area. My 1-barrel pot pond seems to be going really well. I'll turn this off just so you can hear me. Got some water lily in here. They do really well. Got a bit of just grass growing in here. I've got creeping Jenny, which is another plant, and just a couple other water plants. It's a couple of fish, and just have a pump that circulates the water around. This is my second attempt. The first attempt lasted about a year. Some native bird come out here and figured out there's fish in here, so I started eating the fish. Once the fish died, the nitrate or whatever got too high in the pond and the plants died. So yeah, hopefully this time the birds don't. That's why I've got the water lilies this time. We get a bit more coverage at the top, and the birds don't figure out that there's some fish in here, and they last a bit longer. So have a look at the rest of the yard. Over here we just have a yellow rose. This thing just goes crazy. Something about rose bushes. The rougher you are with them, the better they grow. Just got some succulents, some hedges, lavender. Gets a lot of bees. Got quite a few lavender around. Got this yellow one here. So this thing, in about a month's time, would be covered in yellow flowers. It's quite nice when you look out the window and you see all the flower heads. It's nice to look at. It's good. You just got to keep an eye on it because it will be a little bit invasive and start covering the area. We've got a few of these things around the garden just to fill some gaps. I quite like them. I like plants with big foliage. I like that tropical sort of look. Let's have a look at my fernery. It's doing pretty well. It's hard to see. I've got these ferns that create quite good coverage, but underneath there's a spider plant, there's ferns, a couple of different types of ferns. We've got some birds' nests and a few other types of ferns in here. You've got some peace lilies. The reason I've got this makeshift prison fence here is not to keep me in, it's to keep the doggy out that likes to come in here and run through, bowl all the plants over, and also have a little poopy in here. So you'll notice a couple of these makeshift prison fences. They're to control the dog. So here's my original Pepino Gold. Thing still does quite well. This naughty dog here's decided to stop eating all the pepinos. It's got a few on it. It's hard to see. There's some little ones, some big ones. Got a big one under here. I don't know how well you can see that. And a couple more around here. What you need to wait for, you can see on this one, it's getting some tiger stripes on it. This one's not quite ready. It's still rock hard, but they get lots of stripes all the way down them like a tiger. But yeah, they're really yum. Really enjoyable. It's not a fruit that you see all the time. Kind of like those different eccentric sort of foods. All right, let's go check out the grass. So here's the grass. This grass area's got the cooch that I've planted. It's got some, I think it's nut grass and another sort of grass in here, maybe a bit of buffalo, and it's just a mixture of everything. This back half of the grass does really well with cooch. Got a bit of a dead patch where we walk through, can't help that. But we've got this corner over here that I'm constantly putting new dirt in and seeding, and this young man here is constantly digging it up and trying to see what's under the grass and under the soil, which we can't really blame him. He's a truffle hunting dog, so he follows his nose. So every time it rains, he thinks there's truffles or mushrooms or something like that. He can smell something yummy, and he goes for a little dig. He is getting better, but yeah, well, we can do a video on him if you want to find out about legatos. In here, we just have your usual suspects. We've got the olive tree that I spoke about last year, still doing really well. Had some olives on it this year. I don't like olives, so I just leave them there, the birds eat them. We've got a cranberry and something else in here. We've got a pink rose in the corner. We've got a magnolia in the back. Still no birds in my birdhouse I made. We've got our sun rose along the ground. Keeps all the moisture in the grass in. I used to worry about sun rose. I used to think it would choke the plants. The plants do really well with the sun rose. I think it's when you lift it up, you'll find it's really wet under the sun rose. So I think it's good for holding moisture. Let's have a look at my elephant ears. So coming through here, we've got my elephant ears planted into the ground, and the elephant ear that's planted in a pot. This elephant ear here, they get really nice big foliage on them once again. This was, I think, an offcut from my mate Jay and his partner Yvonne. Yeah, this thing seems to do really well. I just like the nice big elephant ear foliage on them. Let's have a look at the front yard. So through here, got a nice cactus. This is a cactus I got from my granny as well, I think. It does really well on this spot. People make the mistake of thinking cactuses always want lots of hot sun. Quite often they like a bit of shade and they like to be watered regularly. This one does really well. I've got a cactus support I made, copied it from Botanical Gardens, a bit of Rio, just standed up and a loop welded on top. But yeah, it had some flowers on it earlier in the year. We've got neighbour begons. It's another plant I really like, is the frangipani. This is a tropical plant. You can grow them down in the colder regions here in Melbourne. This thing's taken a while to find its feet, but this year it started to get some new leaves and yeah, started to grow a little bit. You can see some fresh growth at the top, so hopefully that grows a bit more. Just got some more succulents. I find all the succulents in people's yards and stuff as I walk around, so I just snap a tiny little bit off the top and I plant them. It's probably 30 different ones I've got from people's yards as I walk around. I've got the Mandarin Tree. This thing has been really slow growing. It's always got new shoots on it. So it is growing, it is happy, but it's very slow. Maybe 5 years I might have some mandarins. Just got these ugly things. Got the bird bath. I don't think bird baths are utilised enough in gardens. There's a couple of native birds that are always in there having a little bath. When I had a beehive here, used to see it come catch a few bees, have a bath, eat a few more bees, and obviously go back off to its nest. Them bees are gone now. They swarmed last summer and really struggled to pick up again after that. I think the new queen must have died or they weren't happy with it, but yeah, the whole hive ended up dying. So down a hive over here, we have your standard birds of paradise. The flowers are a bit woeful at the moment. I have a cherry tree here. Something keeps eating the leaves, but it's growing, it's happy. Had some flowers on it this year, but the cherries didn't eventuate. So that's a Stella cherry, I'm pretty sure, which is your most common variety. So that should get a bit bigger. I won't prune that for another year or two either. I've got this nice one. This is my favourite flower in the garden. Each flower has probably 1,000 flowers on it. Dragonflies, flies, bees, moths, butterflies. Pretty much everything that has wings comes and has a little eat out of these flowers, so it's a good one. I've got one there, one there. Last year, you would have noticed the thing was massive. I'd never actually pruned it because I didn't know how. After a few comments and someone actually told me what it was called, I can't remember now, I'd have to look in the comments. I ended up chopping it back to chest height, where my hand is now. And in the last year, the thing's popped up again. So yeah, it's doing really well. I've also got the archway here. Bit of a hybrid vine, I think this thing is. We've got 2 different flowers on each side, same plant, different flowers, but yeah, it's doing really well. I think it's due for a flower soon. This corner of the garden doesn't look like much, but for some reason I really like it. We've got just a few screening plants. We've got some nice big cactuses. We've got a yak in the corner. We've got like a fan palm in there. We've got the frangipani. Got a kumquat growing over here, another citrus. Got a native begon. Just some succulents, some aloe vera. Just a good mixture of plants in here. I'm not going to talk about this grass area too much. It's yeah, I don't know. I think it's the gum tree up here. Just doesn't. This grass doesn't do too well. Gum trees are known for just drawing all the moisture out of the soil. I water this thing like crazy. It gets reasonable sun, but just yeah, the grass doesn't grow. So I'm not even going to bother showing you it. Yeah, come through. Let's have a look. So this is the main front yard that greets you when you come through the gate. It's got a nice rosemary here. It's got pink flowered rosemary, pinky purple. I think it's purple actually. Pink one's somewhere else. It's got really strong smell coming off it. It's got some roses. I've got behind here, I have an orange tree that I planted. So I'm hoping that orange tree grows like the lime tree in the backyard. I can give it a big prune and have a nice big green foliage. Just give the house a bit of cool in summer. Not that there's a problem this summer. A little bit of privacy in winter. We've got the old piston pump that we've cleaned up. It was found in a swampland at my dad's old house. And just over here, we've got some native grass behind the koala. Some more of these. This one is that one with the yellow flower in the backyard, transplanted. Some roses, some ground cover. We've got this nice yak over here. It's transplanted. It never looks healthy, but it's all new shoots, so it's alive. We've got Mickey Mouse ears here. It's quite a nice plant. It looks a bit delicate. In the corner here, have bay leaf. Comes in handy when making chili oils and pasta and things like that. We've got ponytail over in the corner here. Ponytail, that was another one I inherited from my granny. I was a bit rough when I pulled it out. I was in a bit of a rush, I don't know why, but I pretty much just pulled it out of the ground. A lot of the roots are damaged, but yeah, it's a pretty tough plant. It's come back, it's got new foliage on it. Yeah, it's survived, so it's a big positive. Over here, we've got a pear tree. This thing's only young. It's got some pears on it at the moment. They're a couple of days away from picking. Might even pick them after this video, let them sit inside and soften up. Does really well. And I've got a giant bird's paradise in the corner there that I grew from seed. Got another native grass here. This one's called frosted curls. Got prickly pear. There's all different succulents. There's a jelly bean on the ground over there. Yeah, some nice stuff around here. Yeah, so that's it. That wraps up another year. Hopefully I didn't waste your time. Hit a like and subscribe, it helps me out. But yeah, most of all, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, see you next year.